Imagine facing ME/CFS and a vaccine injury for 20 years and then finally recovering. You'd probably want to shout your success from the rooftops, right? Well, that's exactly what Claudia Zimmerman is here to do today. I'm really excited to dive into this because one of the breakthroughs in her recovery journey has been a real game changer for my own health as well. And if you're new here, I'm Raelan, and this channel is all about sharing ME/CFS and long COVID recovery stories so that we as a community can learn and share what doesn't work and what does work for different people. Today, I'm excited to bring you Claudia over in Berlin, Germany. After struggling with chronic fatigue and severe chronic pain for 2 decades, she's here to talk about the things that have finally turned things around for her, hoping to light up the way for anyone on a similar path. Claudia, so nice to have you here today. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for being here.
So you have had a really long health journey with all of this. Can you explain a little bit of what that's been like for you?
Yeah, it's over 20 years. It started when I was 13 years old. I had a virus, I was sick, and it wasn't a big deal at that time. So I just went after 2 weeks to school. I collapsed in school, but the teacher and everyone said, yeah, it was a virus. And after that, I hadn't really any effects. But at 16, 17, I had a knee injury through my dancing, my hobby. And in the same year, I had the Epstein-Barr virus. And I fell down the stairs. So I hurt my back a lot. And this combined in 1 year, it was like the rolling stone that kept me knocking off. After that, I had really trouble getting up. I had pain in my knees. I went from doctor to doctor and even had surgery where they looked into the knee to find what's going on. It wasn't a nice time. I noticed a little bit that I was like exhausted a little bit, but not really much because I was focused on the pain. It was the first in my mind. After a while, the doctor said, yeah, we can't do anything. Just take pills. Here's another pill. And one doctor said, I think it was 18, just stop doing sports. And I said, yeah, at 18. I want to start a career. I want to start going out in the world. And everyone said, yeah, not doing much. And after that, I was in this rebel phase. I went from my little city in North Germany to Berlin. I learned to be an educator and work with kids and even dance with my friends, jazz dance and street dance. And I noticed the pain getting worse in my knees and going to my hips. But I tried to ignore it. I went from doctor, I get knee injection and everything was pain. It was extreme. At the same year in my educator training, I had a back fall again. It was really heavy because after that I couldn't get up. I had back pain for like a year. I got injections in my back. I couldn't sit long. It was just pain. At the end of my educator training, everyone was looking for a job, and for me it was too much. My system was like, oh no, please just crawl into a corner and just hide. And I did that. I tried that and went from doctor, and even one doctor said, your hips is not looking normal. We need to operate and break your legs in order to fix your hip. It's €1 million operation.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What did you think when you heard that?
I was like, what the? And the only for that was that they get me like this long injection through my leg into my hip, and I should walk 1 hour. And they said, is the pain gone now? And I said, yeah, it's just numb. Yeah, okay, we need to do this operation. And I was saying no. And went again from doctor to hospital, and they said, yeah, you have this condition where it's more straight than normal, but your body is like in line with that, and it's okay. And if you do that and they measure just a millimeter wrong, you could end up in a wheelchair.
Oh my goodness.
And after that, I was in the hospital, and that was the time when they called fibromyalgia. But also, they always said, yeah, you're not psycho, and oh, you have pain, you have hip pain, and you dance as a hobby. Yeah, no wonder you have pain. Please just do nothing and stop everything. And it's your fault, by the way. So that was my experience with doctor. At that point, my system was just shutting down. I got panic attack when I did see a doctor in a white coat. I tried to avoid doctors at any cost because I was going from panic attack to panic attack. Didn't know what's going on with me, and me neither. Back then, there was no word of chronic exhaustion and everything that they know now. I got in the corner of pain, psycho, and fibromyalgia. It was like, yeah, here's a plan for this illness. It didn't help much, but hey, you do it. It wasn't a nice time. It was really heavy.
That sounds horrific. I am so sorry you had to go through that. I can't imagine how scary and frustrating that must have been, especially starting so young.
Yeah, at the time, it's everyone going out in the world, and you're on the rebel phase. You say, "Oh, don't listen to the doctors. I just do it my way," and doing much more than I should do. I was also a perfectionist. I didn't know that a type A personality. I didn't know that. And at some point, I was just so down. A psychologist called me half dead. She said, it's like you had a twin sister, and she died. And now you're living a half life. It was like in therapy, focus on the pain, and it was going worse. At that point, I don't know which therapist said, oh, I have a doctor near my hometown. Why don't you go there and check illness in the blood? I went there and I recognized the doctors because I danced with two of her daughters. And she looked at me and said, when you can't dance anymore, you're shitty as hell. I said, thank you, because you're young. Nobody believes that you have pain. It's like, oh, you're young. You don't have pain. It's all in your mind. She, the first time, believed me. She explained to me, yes, what you have is not psycho. It's vaccine damage since your birth. You have a really strong reaction of seeing that you got. When you learn to be an educator, you have to get a few shots. That was the turning point of my body to go completely down. When you got the vaccine damage, the weak point is getting out. And that was the Epstein virus. We detoxed with homeopathic medicine, but it was like throwing good medicine into a lake, and it wasn't helping much. So it was like, I love you, but it's not getting. So what now? At this point, 2.5 years ago, it was that bad that I got every 3 or 4 months morphine injections.
Wow.
I was at the top point of the medicine ladder at every clinic you are in. The first thing you get to know is your medicine ladder.
You've gone through this long, crazy, hellish journey with all of this, and it doesn't sound like much had been working, but eventually you did start to find some things that did help. So how did you come across that, and what were those things?
It was 2.5 years when I couldn't do much. I was like completely locked inside my body. It's like when you're drowning underwater and you can't reach the surface. I watched TV and I saw a documentation about an ice bath woman, and she did the Wim Hof method. I was like, oh, didn't I save Wim Hof breathing in my YouTube thing? And I was looking it up, and yeah, you saved it. It's interesting. I was so impressed by this woman in the ice water that I was like under a spell. I did buy this book from him. I downloaded his app. It's a 2-week free app where you can start breathing, where you can start showering cold. I did good on the app. I get a discount on online course. I did it too to learn, and I really dive into this Wim Hof method, this breathing, this exercise. It was like something shifted inside me. The one thing I remember is Wim Hof telling you have to ask your mind, your body, and your soul if you're ready to go into the cold. If one of them is not, you can't survive in the cold. So I was like, they are not even speaking the same language. I was completely disconnected from my body. I was hating my body because the doctors showed me that I should hate my body. But he said, no, you have to align the screen. At this point, I started, okay, how do I do that? Like sign language, okay, can we go in? It was really funny because I connected with all my being. I showered cold, and I remember it was one day before Christmas, and Christmas is a stressor. I got to a lake. It was snowing. I got in the lake 1 minute, and I got out. My feet were so cold all the way back home. But I felt like Superwoman for the first time in my life. That was my turning point when I said, wow, you can be strong. You can be really strong to survive this. And that was my start. And I did it for 2 years. I noticed I could walk more because I couldn't walk like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Then I was collapsing. I couldn't stand because of the POTS. I couldn't do much because of the nerve infection, always in the head area. And the brain fog. I always called it my little cloud because I didn't have words before then. I just didn't know that. That's what brain fog is. Slowly, my brain fog was going down, and I could feel my body more with the breathing. At some point last year, I was like, okay, I did everything I could on my own to know about the breath. I even self-taught me the Bodeko method. It's like reduced breathing for asthma patients. I like that too, but I said, okay, what now? Then I got into the Wim Hof Facebook group. A woman, Uta, she proposed breathing sessions because she's learning to be a breathwork instructor. I said, oh, yeah, I want to. I did a few breathing sessions, bioflow with her, and she was so great. She told me I learned everything from Tim Vanderfleet. He's a former Wim Hof method teacher. He has now his own school, his own learning. Maybe you should look into it. I looked into it and said, not Tim, not myself. Then I scheduled a call with him. Immediately in this call, I felt like this connection. He was like feeling my way. He was like completely aligned with me, and he was so nice, so deep. I said, okay, I want to do that. I want to learn from him. And my family and friends got me the money. My mom booked this course for me. Now I'm nearly at the end of level 3. It's a journey I really never thought I would go through. It's heavy and it's so deep. It's so great. I never felt more connected with my soul because the breathing is so deep. When you go into a breath, you go not only into your body, but you go into your subconscious because you really got from the stress state, from your autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic, the chill nerve can go up. This was like the first time I really understand the science behind it. I didn't know why my brain fog was gone because dopamine was released in the breath. I was really, it's that easy. And so he said, yeah, it's so good. And yeah, it's my way from going down to better and better.
That's incredible. How far on your recovery journey would you say that you are?
I thought about it. It's crazy. Everyone is like, yeah, what is the recovery story of chronic fatigue or vaccine damage? I don't think that fully recovered means that you completely send job market workable. For me, recovered is that you are able to do things without crashes, without the pain, without getting completely out of the system. I think I'm recovered a good way to recovery because I don't know if it's possible to go completely out of this, but I'm really far. It's nice to feel that you can do more again. Like 10 years, I didn't do much. I really don't remember a few years like gone. But now I'm living the small moments when the sun comes out and the moment when I'm standing at the beach and I feel the cold and I'm going in despite the cold, despite everything is saying, no, it's cold, don't go in. And I love the moment when you go out and your system is shaking because of the afterdrop, and you do your exercises to keep warm, to help your body to release the endorphins. And I know my energy level is going up.
It's incredible to think that at one point you were being told that you needed to have €1 million surgery and have both your legs broken to recover. And in the end, it ended up being something so much simpler, cold water immersion, breath work, so much more natural things. I'm just so happy that you found these things and that you're doing so much better and that you didn't have to go through such an intense, extreme surgery that sounds like it might not have helped anyways.
Yeah, it's crazy. I also do energy work. I go to an energy practitioner. I know the trauma release. It's really important. So the breathwork is helping with the trauma release. You go really deep. Everything is in the chest and the diaphragm area. The tools are there. That's what I find most interesting. One practitioner told me you need to find tools for yourself to help you and not going through practitioner and practitioner. I know a few chronic fatigues, and even we have this in my family. They all try to find it in the outside world, the healing. I notice also viewing a lot of your videos, it's not on the outside you can find your healing, it's on the inside. Because we all have this autonomic nervous system. I always felt like the stress in my head, always pushing down the stress button. It's like alarm clock. And when you have the alarm ringing in your body, how can you focus on anything else? So when you release that and through breath go into the chill nerve, then you can heal for your body, because also the inflammation goes down and the endorphins. I noticed also my pain level is going so much down. I know I have to do it every day. I have a really tight morning routine. I do a light yoga, my breath work, and going to the shower or the ice bath. And I need to do it every day, so I can't skip it. Then my level is going a little bit down. It's the best way to help yourself. And I noticed so much more about myself. The self-love is growing. I have this optimism that I hadn't in years. I learned in my breathwork that we can rewire our brain because of the breathing, because we go into our subconsciousness. And I didn't know that I was doing that, but now it makes so much sense that my whole system is changing. That's what I try to teach my friends and families. They're all like, okay. And yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to share that because I know how frustrating it was. 2.5 years ago, the turning point was really, I nearly killed myself because it was the lowest point and I couldn't take the morphine injections anymore. And now I'm living the life I want. Maybe not completely, but I am grateful for what I'm having because I know what it is when you lose it. I'm grateful when I can do a walk, meeting with friends. I don't have this exhaustion crashing down. I really need to listen on my body every time. But I think that's worth the living that I got now. Yeah, I want to get it out in the world. I hope when I'm finished with my training, breathwork and ice teacher, it's not only self-therapy, because I started at a self-therapy and I want to go into a self-employment. So the government is helping me and I'm starting self-employment to teach that to others and look how my body is getting okay with it. So starting slow. Later on, when I can, I will send the people in the ice bath.
So incredible. I'm so sad for you, Claudia, for all that you've had to go through. It's heartbreaking, but it's so amazing to see where you are now. It's clearly changed you dramatically, and you just seem to be in such a good place. I'm just so happy for you and so grateful for you that you are putting your story out there for other people as well, so they can learn from it and get hope from it and inspiration and see that after years and years of pain and suffering, that, there are ways out. So keep looking until you find what works for you. And this might be something that could work really well for other people as well. And we'll make sure to have linked in the video description, because I know it's a lot to take in. So for people watching, the different things that you've mentioned and how to get a hold of you and all of that. If you have some questions, just look at the video description and we'll have more information there so you can dive into all of that. Thank you so much, Claudia, for doing this today. I am so grateful for you and so happy for you. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you too. Also Kundalini yoga and Qigong. I noticed that also chilling up your parasympathetic, and it really helped me getting into a little bit of strength training, but not too much, because Kundalini is with breathing and Qigong is like really chill exercises. I hope maybe that can help people, and if they want to know more about breathwork and eyes, I know it's a great journey and I know it can help. And maybe for some, it's the right call. So yeah, I hope it is. I want to get it out into the world. That's my hope, in Germany at least. I hope that I can get it to the crowd and say, hey, you don't have to be so down with the pain and exhaustion. There are help. You can get more energy.
Yeah, it's so good to get this information out. And for people watching too, I send out a weekly newsletter that summarizes all of this stuff and has links to everything, because I know it's a lot to take in. So if you haven't already signed up, there's a link for that in the video description as well. Well, thank you again, Claudia. Thank you to those of you who are watching. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments. As always, sending massive hugs to you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got tons out of it, and I hope to see you in the next one.